Welcome along to EXFL Tier 2 Season 12. We're here for round 7 out of 20. It's the Italian Grand Prix, the double header in Italy. We're here at Monza this time out after last week's final Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in EXFL. 16 drivers tonight, 18 minutes ahead of us, which is just under 17 now. Drivers hitting the track for their first runs. Only Ferrari rep today is Chaz F1 reserving once again in the Ferrari. Hopefully, he can finish and maybe even more than that, get some points. We got Deadgun, who equals the new record of most races without a point of 7. Today is his 8th race in EXFL Tier 2, so if he doesn't score today, he will be the new owner of that. As, of course, Adam broke his current streak last week. 16 races before his first points finish. Today being his 17th race, he finally is not on that list. So yeah, that's allowed Deadgun to be promoted to the top of that list. Reserving in the Aston, Adam obviously promoted to the Sauber last week, got his first points. So he's maintaining that, hopefully, maybe after today, in, one of the 3 teams that host the Ferrari engine in the back. That being the Sauber, the Ferrari, obviously, and the Haasers, Toby and Will, out there on track. Toby, EXFL Tier 2's newest race winner, winning last time out in Imola under very tricky conditions throughout the whole race, dropping down the order, making his way back through, fending off drivers behind of Dello, who unfortunately is not here today. Don't actually know why. But, Dello, the only repeat pole sitter this season. So out of the 6 races, we've had 5 different pole sitters. Obviously, only one converted into victory, which was Samurai, the new championship leader, after scoring enough points last week ahead of Finn, who once again is not racing today. This time, I think it's because of work, but hopefully he'll be back next week for the Spanish Grand Prix. It is always this part of the season, round 7, 8, 9, where we start to see quite a few swaps. But Samurai in a similar position to where he was last season now, leading the standings. And it's really going to be down to how he performs, how his pace is. Last season, this was around the time where his teammate Kobe started to take the spotlight away from him. His current teammate Birdie still not really getting onto terms with his attendance as well as when he does race, because once again, he's not here today. So the Sol Williams of Samurai will be the one everyone's watching if you're a Williams fan. So yeah, Oren, who is also up there in the championship fight, second in the championship now after losing the lead to Samurai. Trails only by 3 points, 70 to Samurai's 73. Oren, who a few seasons ago, quote-unquote, won here in Italy and equaled, at the time, the all-time win record post-race. He got a penalty for one of his restarts. They weren't great. He went too slow, got a penalty, dropped to 3rd, I believe. So maybe a bit of redemption's in order for him today. He is the only repeat winner, if that's any consolation this season, like Finn in qualifying, like Dello in qualifying. Oren, who won back-to-back races earlier in the season, he'll be hoping for a 3rd, as he's weaving there, heading down into Ascari. So yeah, he's got a good gap already, a 2nd ahead of Cowan, 18.7. That is going to take some beating after what has been quite a few unfortunate races for Oren, especially last week, where his qualifying wasn't even too bad, but the race pace, maybe it was the tyres, he just went backwards and backwards. So Grush back in the McLaren, also in the fight. I'd say there's about 7 drivers currently still in the fight. 3.5 tenths behind. We've got Yannick, one of those 7, currently sitting 7th in the standings, I believe. I'm just going to pull him up now. 8th. Oh, well, level. Joint 7th, I guess. So Chaz at the moment, half second off. In 4th at the moment, not too bad. Toby, currently 3rd in the standings on 67 points. So, yeah, Samurai is 3 points ahead of Oren, who's 3 points ahead of Toby, who's 6 points ahead of Finn, who's not racing today, who's 4 points ahead of Grush. So, yeah, the top 5 covered by 16 points. After Grush, 7 points back is Dello, who's not racing today. 7 points behind Dello is Ridian in P10 on the Inters, just doing a quick run. So yeah, Samurai went 5th, Cal's dropped down to 7th, once again reserving in the McLaren. Josh in 8th. I mean, the record of most retirements in a row is 6. He is currently on 6, so a new record today if he does decide to retire. Hopefully not on track, otherwise he will have a quali ban for his next race. Well, Bernard up by quite a massive amount in the first sector, but going off there at Lesmo 2. So, I mean, he's kept it valid. It'll still be a decent enough lap, but he may have bailed out soon enough. We won't watch the end of that. Matt behind, invalidated. AP Cookster back after a few races missed in the Red Bull today. But it looks like his run has been ruined. We've got Seb on his outlap. A great race a fortnight ago to get P2 in, what was it, Qatar? No, Japan. He drove brilliantly to get his 40th Tier 2 podium. Last week wasn't exactly the race he was expecting with the DNF. And then we have Yonder, who really surprised people. He's been starting at the back a lot of times so far this season. P17, P18 and whatnot. 16 today, so we'll see if he does bother with quali. And if he doesn't, he's at least starting still a little bit higher than previously. And he's managed to drag his car up to great points finishes, 7ths, 5ths, and last week finishing P2 after starting P17. He made it onto that list of, well, he's 10th now, most positions gained in a single race of 15. So that was his 6th podium last week of his Tier 2 career, 29 races, 6 podiums, 30th race today, and well, the record's 8 podiums for most races without a win. Before last week, Yonder had 5 P3 finishes. Last week was his first P2 finish. And Josh said just before we entered the lobby, entered qualifying, Yonder win today. So we'll see what he can do. He's still a reserve. I'll point that out on 40 points. That would put him 9th in the standings. And I really do want to promote him. But considering he's been reserving for RB, which is Finn's seat, and he's definitely probably going to be a contender, as that's probably off for Yonder, still somehow valid. Yonder will probably get given maybe the Ferrari seats, because they're probably going soon with Warren and what's his actual name? Charlie, but not Chaz F1, the other Charlie, who is the Ferrari driver. They're probably going to both lose their seats. Chaz may as well have it because he's been reserving in Ferrari and has been turning up. And Yonder, he raced for Ferrari once, so he may as well. He's invalidated though. Cal, you may have seen him quite a lot in the McLaren this season, is reserving in there. He just loves the McLaren. And considering Christian might lose his seat soon, Cal will probably inherit that seat full-time as well. Anyway, Grush has improved a little bit more to be within 2.5 tenths instead of 3.5 of Oren's 18.7. Grush just dipping into the 18s there. Yannick's still 3rd, Chaz still 4th. Samurai usually does a lap and then goes again. But at the moment, he's still where he is. In 7th, Will managed to go up to 8th. Considering he had that off in Lesmo 2, that's not too bad. Cow is down by a 10th and a bit. Josh with a 20.0. Dead Gun, again, showing good pace. Not 3 to 4 seconds off. Within 2 seconds, pretty much all the time. If he can not get lapped, that would be probably his next stage. Considering he joined a season or whatever ago. Was always 3 laps down. Last week he was a lap down. So if he can stay on the lead lap, then points look more and more promising for him. So to the 3 who haven't set a time yet. Matt into turn 1 and 2 after missing a couple races, losing his Mercedes seat. He is here today reserving for the Mercedes of Ollie, who's not racing. Cookster, 26-1, first sector split. We got Chaz right behind him, who's up by just over half a tenth in the first sector. Quickly see Cookster's middle sector split. Didn't quite catch it. What about Chaz? Also didn't quite catch it. But they're making their way through Ascari then. Right on the ball with the Ferrari. Looks like Cookster has messed up his lap, so he will move out the way of the Scarlet Ferrari. Currently P5. Oren's out! And that is a bit of a shock. I don't know if he left the session. I'll quickly invite him if he did. But he's retired. Chaz F1 to cross the line. There's been a pretty good lap from him. And he goes up to P2 on the front row. For Ferrari, it's an 18.8. And I'm just going to check what happened with Oren. Unless he thinks, nah, that's the best lap I could do. My banker will stay. Oh, no message from him. But yeah, at the moment then, Oren time to beat 18-7, and the rest have a chance. As Seb went up to P4 as well. So look at that, 1/10, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then someone needs to be 6, and then Samurai can be 7/10 behind. But he's currently on a lap, diving it into the Parabolica. The championship leader, who is the only driver this season to convert pole into victory, will cross the line. It's an 18.8 to put himself now on the front row. Closer margins now as Samurai just over a 10th off Oren. And yeah, I really do not know what happened to Oren. I'm pretty sure he's the only... Oh no, Deadgun's here. I'm pretty sure when I saw Oren retire, he was in the pit lane. When it was... Oh, I don't know, unless he's made a really bad mistake. I'll wait to see what Oren says, but yeah. It's a solid pace from Chaz right there. I really hope he goes through with this race. I want to see him good in the points, having a strong race for once. Will's out there, invalidated, as across the line is Ridian P8. Yeah, Ridian, as he straight lines, turn 1. He'll be hoping to get higher up there. He's not really one for qualifying. He's never had a pole position before. He's approaching 70 races in EXFL Tier 2. It's always the race that he always seems to climb his way up the order. He's one of those who is very well in doing that. So that pushes his teammate outside the top 10. Cookster still yet to get an actual lap on the board, per se. 4/10 down in the first sector, and Yonder also still hasn't set a lap, currently on an invalid one. As crossing the line was Adam there to go just in front of Deadgun for P13. So, yes, Samurai all the way down to Toby, still in the pit lane. It really is track dependent with some of these drivers. Obviously, we saw Toby ride up there last week in 7th at the moment, but it is quite close given the context. I mean, last week, Dello took pole by, I think it was 4/10, which would be 1st to 6th at the moment. Dello was in his element last week in quali to take a well-deserved second pole of the season. But with just under 5 minutes to go, we'll still await to see what people do. Are they going to do one push, then slow, then push again, as Will goes up to P7, just in front of his teammate there. Good lap from the Haas car. Haas, the only team to have both their cars in the top 8, I believe. Aston Williams, Ferrari, yeah. Actually, the only, well, top 9. 2 McLarens as well in 4th and 10th. We've got Grush on his outlap at the moment. That's Yonder coming around the final couple corners, as that's Adam right in front of him. What is happening? Some lag there. I wouldn't be surprised if there's maybe a grid pen coming one or their ways, but yeah, Yonder will cross the line. I mean, it was going to be a slow lap anyway, but he does get a lap time on the board at least. So Grush has come around the final corner then, and we may as well ride on board with him to see his lap through. So he's currently just under 2.5 tenths off an 18.7, blasting his battery, opening the DRS along the start-finish straight, down into turn 1, no one in front of him to get in his way. Heavy braking then around the 100-metre board into the first chicane. Little lock-up, but he takes it quite nicely, gets on the power as early as possible, and blasts the battery even more. This long right-hander of Esquida de Lago, we're not in Brazil, Curva Grande, as he finishes the first sector split, and he's nearly found the exact time he needs to beat Oren to pole position. Through the second chicane, a little bit squirrely, out of the exit, into the Lesmos then. Just a downshift from 6th to 5th. And keeping it strong, so easy to get caught on the grass or go wide. But he's taken the Lesmos very nicely indeed. Blasting a little bit more battery with the DRS open for the second time in this lap. Down under the bridge, up now through the hill. He's up by 4 tenths into a Ascari chicane. And he just somehow keeps it valid through and on the exit with 1 corner to go. This has been a brilliant lap for Grush, who's not exactly had the best run of luck in the last couple of races that has dropped him from the top few spots in the championship. He's definitely, certainly still in it. Drush, who took his first pole in Bahrain in that amazing last-minute shootout where 4 cars were separated by a whole tenth. At the moment, he's got nearly double that advantage. Grush is on provisional pole with an 18.5 with 2 minutes to go. Who can beat that? Not Oren, because now, at best, he will be on the front row. Yeah, great lap from Grush. Glad we caught all that. Now Yannick's beginning his final run with all the cars exiting the pit lane. So down into turn 1. He took a lot of positioning to the left there on the light green AstroTurf for the RB. But now through Curva Grande. Don't know why I called it Skida de Largo. But yeah, we'll see his first sector split. How much has he found? He's actually down by a couple hundredths. What about Seb? He's just starting his lap. The 2 Haas cars. Toby's going to be very late. In fact, I think he will be the last car to cross the line to start his lap. We have an Aston in the pits, which is obviously Oren. Every other car is out on track. Oh no, it's Ted Gunn. Okay, so both Astons are in. And that looks like that's the McLaren of Cal just getting out the way there. Slowing right down. I think he's missed the pit lane. As we see the Ferrari of Chaz F1 begin his lap now. So we'll see what he can do. He's got to make up 3 tenths. This is anyone's game at the moment. As you can see, heading into Parabolica, so many cars. As Cookster goes up to P5 on his final run, I'm assuming. So Chaz into the first chicane. That was quite deep as he went over the curb for turn 2. He'll carry it through, as I believe all the cars coming across the line are beginning laps. There we go. You see all the outlaps disappearing towards the end of the field. Chaz finishes the first set split. He's up by 2 tenths nearly. As we see, who is that who just crossed the line? Was that really? No. Well, someone demoted the 2 Haas cars. I must have missed that. So that's Callum out. We have Toby coming around the final corner, followed by Seb, who's down and invalidated. So that might be his session over. So Toby crosses the line then. He will be the last car to finish his run. Adam's down and invalidated. So we look back to Chaz F1, who's into the gravel, across and invalidated. He was up, but now he's up in the air, and he's out of the session. So next up is Cookster, who's definitely not on a lap. So I think that's Samurai next into the second sector split. He's up fractionally, as behind him is Yonder, who's probably going to start this race last. Yannick's down by a couple tenths, I believe, in the first sector. What about Grush? Is he going even quicker? Because apparently there's a purple sector too. Can't fully trust it. But we'll see what the rest can do then. In the background, who's going to spoil Grush's party? Could he even extend it? What is this grid going to be for round 7? The Italian Grand Prix. Samurai, championship leader, crosses the line. He goes up to P3. 6 thousandths off Oren. Who's next to cross the line? I think it'll be Grush. Can he extend his advantage even more? He misses out by a couple hundredths, but at the moment, he's on pole. Will's on the front row at the moment. Yannick's 5th, Chaz is 6th, Cook's the 7th, Seb's 8th, Ridian's down by a lot. Toby is probably one of the only few who can deny Grush another pole position. Matt P13. And yeah, Ridian will cross the line. There is one driver then left on the track who's pushing to the line. And can he deny Grush? His teammates on the front row. Toby crosses the line and it's P6. Very close between the top 10 really. That's a very close qualifying. But in the end, Grush, like it was in Bahrain, is ahead of Will on the front row. So Grush takes pole position number 2 in EXFL Tier 2 Season 12. Will, right at the end, he was saying he's trying so hard in the chats, and it's deserved him, rewarded him with a front row start. Oren's banker lap still puts him 3rd, just in front of Samurai. And Yannick, top 5 start as well. Toby, P6, so that's 2 Ascars in the top 6. Chaz, the only Ferrari, P7. And yeah, Cookster will be... Oh. My controller wasn't working then. Yeah, Cookster will be P8. Ridian P10. And who got 9th? Seb. Alright. Why was Cal on the mediums? Yeah, very close quality. That was great. 18.5. That is a very solid lap time. So yeah, Yonder will be starting this race from 16th and last position. Right. We load into a dry race. A bit more cloudy than qualifying. But yeah, the drivers will be tweaking their setup slightly to within what they can for part firme, confirming strategies, sorting their fuel loads, and hopefully no one readies up instantly. Like last week, that did annoy a few people. At the moment, it looks okay. I mean, we can take a look at what people are on at the moment. We've got a few people on the hards, a few medium runners, a few soft runners further at the back. I know Toby's in a party with whoever just joined. Can't really do much to stop him. I'm not going to be sad enough to message the guy, but hope he enjoys. Ticking noises. Clock down to the start of the formation lap then. And Monza turn 1 and tier 2. That is never usually a good combination. Last season, they all made it through turn 1. It was the exit of turn 2 where all the chaos happened. And that was a wet to dry race. At the moment, it looks like today we're going to have a completely dry race. Grush already away on the formation lap, getting temp in his tyres. Oren ahead of Will as they're into turn 1. And if we can have it sensibly like this, that'd be great. But who knows what's going to happen. Right, tyres. Bit of an array. That's cool to see. Right, so Grush and Will, the front row on the medium compound tyres. Behind them, Oren and Samurai on the hard compound tyres, then followed with Yannick, Toby, Chaz and Cookster on the mediums, Seb also on the hards, both Alpines on the mediums. The only soft runner in the field is Cal, considering he did his run on mediums. I'm guessing he had a soft set or two to spare. Matt and Deadgun on the hards, Adam and Yonder on the mediums. So that's 10 of the 16 on the yellow mark tyre, and 5 on the hards, and yeah, 1 on the softs. So Grush and Will should be able to have a good start. Will challenge Grush down into turn 1. It should be just a 1 stop if you can make the mediums last to around lap 11 or 12 and then go for the hards for the rest of the race. I'd say the earliest you can pit is maybe lap 10. I'd say the latest you want to take mediums, maybe lap 13 or 14. And the opposite for the hards, deduct and whatnot. So can Will get the inside line and take the lead? Or will Grush hold on? Because he does need a good result to get himself back up to the top of the standings. I wouldn't say back in the championship. He's only 16 points off. Samurai is in 4th. If they finish like that, then, well, at the moment, if they finish how they are, Oren and Samurai will be level, and Grush will be 3 points behind these two. But a lot can change. As we have probably about half the grid lining up now. And we see Yonder, the 16th and final spot, putting his car in place with a few cars just in front. There we go. There's Josh Hewitt. We're missing, there we go, the Ferrari of Chaz, who's a bit late to the party. So here we go then. Green flag waving. And we'll gear up for round 7 of 20. It's the EXFL Tier 2 Season 12 Italian Grand Prix. And we wait for the 5 lights to signal the start of the 27 laps ahead of us. Yonder's left. I'll make sure to invite him in a minute. Here come the 5 lights then. 5 lights ahead of the drivers. It's lights out and away we go in Monza. Will losing the car off the line slightly. Samurai is ahead of Oren already as Grush goes right to defend the Haas, who's going to try and go around the outside. Late on the brakes. Will around the outside. Has he kept the car on track? No, he hasn't. He cuts the corner and gets ahead of Grush. And that's already probably going to be an illegal overtake too, as it looks like they've managed to all make their way through turn 1 and 2, as that's the Mercedes getting squeezed onto the grass as Grush is back in front of Will. Heading down into the second chicane then, so Grush does maintain the lead. Will ahead of Samurai, ahead of Toby, who's actually for once made a good start. Oren, however, has lost a few places, and so has Cookster as he's gone around there. And onto the grass is the Aston of Deadgun. Dropping down the order, going wide, there's Chaz who's lost a place, Yannick's lost 2 places, Ridian's up quite a few as per usual, and you could just sense that Will was going to try something like that as per usual, and he's gifted himself a time penalty, but it's only lap 1. A lot more could happen with everyone else as we make our way into Ascari for the first time then. And yeah, there wasn't actually too much drama at the back in the first chicane. It all happened at the front. So, biggest gainer at the moment, obviously, it's Ridian. 10th to 6th. Great start from him. Everyone else gaining or losing 2 or 1 places. Cooks are down to 4. And that's Will dropping even further down the order. What's happened to the Haas car on the end of lap 1? Who's dropped down to P7. Make that P8. Ridian's up to 5th now. And he's looking at the back of Oren for P4. So, Grush has already got a second advantage. Toby, who started 6th, now trades with his teammate. Toby's up to P2 now. What a move on Samurai, who's under pressure now from Oren. As that's the McLaren of Cal fighting away with Seb. Oren all over the back of the Williams, blasting his battery. So is Samurai. The 2 hard runners want to be the lead hard runner. Oren to the inside, brakes slightly later on Samurai. Slight contact as Samurai has to go across the chicane. So Oren has got the place. As Yonder's left again. Didn't even realise he joined. I guess he can join back off, so I don't need to invite him. But yeah, Dead Gun's around. 2nd lap in a row. He's had an issue at the chicane. Just reset to track. It ain't that deep, mate. As Toby is within a second now of Grush. Started 6th. Last week's race winner. Wanting to win again. As yeah, he's cleared Oren. Those mediums really helping him out. He's finally found the button. As we see all the cars in the background exit Ascari. It's a great angle. But yeah, only 1 penalty so far, and that is for Will, who went across the first chicane. He just brakes later, went around the outside, tried a chance, didn't work. So yeah, Grush trying to blast a lot of his battery. Toby's down to 30, but with the DRS, we'll see. With a 1 second gap, how close he gets. He's not blasting, and Grush has stopped blasting. Seb fighting away with Josh there. Matt fighting away with Cal there. We see any moves into turn 1. Will to the inside of Yannick. Yannick breaks later to go around the outside. Close to contact. Will tries the switch back on Yannick, who stays ahead for now. Now he's blasting his battery. 10% more than Yannick. Oren's still in front of Samurai, who's not attacking at the moment. So we'll see if Will can get the move. Yannick goes defensive to the left. Will switches to the outside. Yannick leaves him just enough space to try and go around the outside, but he can't. And goes across the chicane, just like last lap with Samurai and Oren. Yeah, it's these contact models and placing a car perfectly that made Samurai and Oren have a bit of contact, made Samurai have to cut across slightly. So I'd say around lap 6 is when Oren and Samurai should be able to start closing in on the top 2. However, with Oren's tyre management from last week, it might be in Samurai's best interest to try and get ahead of him, unless Oren's fired up this time round. He is better here than Imola, I'd say. However, both have been pretty strong for him in the past. I mean, last week's our latest reference, so yeah. You can't really get much worse for that than him today. So Chaz, who started, I believe, was it 1 place higher than where he is right now? Yeah, he is. As we have a yellow, and that's Matt who's gone off. As we look further to the front, Toby getting a bit close to Grush, but not close enough at the moment. Any more overtakes down into turn 1? Will, I think, just going a little defensive from Chaz there. As they're all nose to tail, taking so many different lines. Are the top 11, almost all within DRS range. All aboard the orange train at the moment. So Grush needs to save some battery, otherwise next lap we will have a new race leader. And he has a Ferrari engine in the back. Yeah, just to remind you, with the tyres, so all of the top 8 bar Oren and Samurai on the mediums. That's Adam and Matt getting ahead of Cow, who's gone off into the gravel. So another mishap towards the last few drivers. I'm going to quickly invite Yonder, as that's Josh Hewitt who's gone off as well, who's lost some wing as well. Oh yeah, Yonder's in, never mind. Yeah, so he can join off me, but either way. We're going to start lap 5 then, and considering the gap between the top 2 is only 3/10, we could be seeing Toby take the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. You can see Grush flashing, and that's going to give Toby no second invitation. He'll move to the left, there's nothing Grush can do, and Toby, after starting P6, is now in the lead of the Italian Grand Prix by the start of lap 5. And now we see Samurai under pressure from Ridian, who made a brilliant start, as per usual. P10 to P5 is half the field, but at the moment he's currently stuck where he is. As that's Josh Hewitt, 7 out of 7 retirements, at least this one was in the pit lane. And that is a new record as Cal changes his tyres. Right, now Grush has to try and stick with Toby. And you can see Oren slowly gaining a little on the top two. Yeah, these two are going to be the interesting outliers in this race. Because Iridium will obviously pit before them, probably undercut. They're going to fight for a podium. But if Samurai and Oren can maintain good pace, they're looking at maybe better than just a podium. So Yannick struggling to stick within a second of Ridian. If he doesn't get the DRS, that might help Will, but I believe he's just messed up the Ascari chicane because he's got Chaz right behind him, and now Will struggling to get DRS with the very little battery he has left as they're heading into the detection point. Oh, as they're sliding, it's Ridian. Just about kept the car as now Yannick nearly falls victim of that too. I don't think Ridian got DRS. No, he did not, because that was before the detection. So Grush has stuck within a second. Oren and Samurai are freed up a little now. As we see swaps galore. Chaz ahead of Will. Yannick ahead of Ridian. Down into turn one. As Seb just sitting behind as Adam speeds into the pit lane. So yeah, it looks like the rears are early as lap 6. Some people are struggling with. So yeah, Grush pretty level on battery with Toby now. He doesn't really need to blast from the exit of the second chicane to Lesmo 1, because I don't really see anyone else doing that. Yonder getting past Matt now into the second chicane. Looks like a pretty good move for the man who started at the back. Will losing a place to Seb. That's not really a place you see many overtakes, but one tier 2 champion passes the other as the other one is out. And that's Ridian getting back in front of Yannick. Catching him sleeping, perhaps. There we go. Oren has already caught Grush and Toby because they're really trying to save some battery here. And look at that. The top 4 all within a second of one another now. Game on with Grush trying to come back at Toby. And Oren has joined the fight. I did say lap 6 would be when the hards start to fire up and the mediums start to lose some ground. Here comes Grush then to retake the lead of the Italian Grand Prix on Toby. As we see Yannick getting past Ridian, who speeds. It looks such a slow entry as well. That's really unfortunate for the Alpine. So Grush is back in front of Toby. Seb ahead of Chaz now as Will watches that unfold. Samurai just keeping at bay for now, watching whatever happens ahead. Championship leader. Who knows if it stays like this. Him and Oren will be level on points as Will is now ahead of Chaz. Not much battery. Same with Will. He sees Seb flashing and stays behind for now. Nose to tail for those three. Sliding out goes the Haas. And he struggled here last lap. So let's just see how he takes the Lesmos. This time around pretty decent. But yes, Seb has got himself past Chaz and Will now. And he's up in the 6th. And that will be 6th because, well, Ridian's got that time penalty. And he's pitted as early as lap 7. He's surely going for a 2-stop. I'd say, well, now that I know, these are the decisive laps for those who are going to try and get a 1 or a 2-stop. That's Oren fighting his way past Toby before we even get to the start-finish straight. So he's up in a P2 now, ahead of what was once the race leader. Can Oren now get close enough to Grush to take the lead on lap 7? Is that Toby pitting? It is. So Toby, I mean, no way is anyone pitting now and making it to the end. Surely not. So yeah, Toby looks like he's doing the 2-stop. Oren might get Grush on the next lap then. That is a big gap that's been eked out from Samurai to Yannick. And his Cooks are trying to move on Chaz, not quite this lap round. Both passers deciding to pit. Will changing his front wing there. So yeah, like I said, lap 10 I'd say is the earliest you want to pit from mediums to hards. As that's Cooks to getting past Chaz to the inside, wheel to wheel into the second chicane. Chaz bounces over and whacks Cookster off track. That was not nice. And he gets the place, and Cookster might have something to say about that because that wasn't fair. As he goes off the track himself and gets a time penalty into Lesmo 2. So you can see Seb and Yannick right in front of him, but the top 3 are pulling away bit by bit ahead of them. You can just see how much confidence Oren has on the hard compound tyres, which are so much better than those mediums Grush has right now. And like I said, yeah, lap 10 earliest if you want to make the 1-stop. If you're pitting around lap 6 to 9, yeah, you're probably going to be doing a 2-stop. So what does Grush do? Yeah, he knows he's got to make the 1-stop last. The longer he can keep these two behind, the better for his race. because that way he doesn't need to gain too much. But Oren is closing. Grush goes defensive, and he's actually going to have to work for this a bit. Oren goes around the outside, trying to do what Will did on lap 1. This time gets the car stopped, and Oren becomes the 3rd leader of the Italian Grand Prix. And now Samurai's trying to overtake Grush. He gets very close there. I believe Chaz may have just sped in the pit lane as well. But for now, Samurai is stuck behind Grush and has to try and get past him as soon as possible. Otherwise, Oren might speed off into the distance. Right behind the McLaren there, who once again blasts on the exit. Right, let's have a quick look to penalty. Yeah, quite a few have sped. Ridian, Cookster, Chaz, Adam. So this might not be the end of the world for Ridian if people can't do the pit lane entry. But like I said, Oren has nearly got that second gap ahead of Grush. Samurai coming through on the McLaren. That's a good opportunity to get ahead of Grush. And yeah, good stuff from the Williams, who's still within DRS of Oren pretty much safely. And look at that, Oren, 14% compared to Samurai's 50. Grush still knows he needs to go a lap or so. I'd say lap 12 is probably the most ideal lap for his pit stop. So what he loses from now until then, he can gain with the undercut and then keep on gaining and gaining until Samurai and Oren pit, and then it will be up to them to chase Grush down like we have just seen, and we'll see how close it gets on the run to the flag. We have yellows. That's Chaz out, and that has just changed the context of this race. Chaz has crashed at Ascari again, like he did in qualifying. So he's crashed in the race, and that has just completely helped all the medium runners. That has sorely hurt the hard runners. So Chaz has crashed. And yeah, those with the 10s will pretty much serve them now. I think Cookster can put hards to go to the end as well. So yeah, don't really know how he's crashed there. I guess he could have lost the car. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting. Looks like he generally binned it. So, big task now for Oren, Samurai, Seb. Yeah, pretty much those three. Can they make... Because everyone else could easily make their hards go to the end. This, like I said, was the earliest lap to pit for the one stop. Can they make mediums last that long? Mediums are only meant to go 12, 13 or so laps. Not 17. I mean, obviously, if one or two or three of them will be under safety car. Do they stay out? Do they pit? Oren pits. Samurai follows him in, making sure not to speed. Grush. It's been kind of handed to him now. Oh my god, Yonder is up there now. Under safety car. No way. No way. Right, you'd assume the order will stay the same then. It'll be Oren, Samurai, Grush. I guess Samurai and Oren have to just pull away from the rest and then hope when their tyres die, the rest just don't catch. Right, anyone staying out? Yannick, because he pitted on the last lap. This has hurt his race a little. Well, you know what, never mind. It's not hurt his race at all. He's managed to not lose too much advantage. Seb in 5th, but like I said, he's on the mediums. Will's up to 6th after pitting quite early. Yonder's out there in 7th, and considering 3 ahead of him are on mediums, he's in a net 4th. How does he do it? Toby's right there as well, to be fair, considering he pitted a few laps ago. So he's lost out quite a bit, considering he was with Grush. Yeah, Yannick's up in 4th then. I mean, couple laps older tyres, that's his only issue. Same with Will. Cal's on 6-lap-old hards. And when they loaded into qualifying, that was a crucial decision. Did they choose harder or balanced? If you chose balanced, maybe not the best idea right now. If you chose harder, not too bad. So yeah, Ridian has served as 10-second pen. Deadgun hasn't. Don't pit this lap. You'll get lapped. Good. So as soon as he serves that 10, only him and Will with the 3-second pens. This is going to be quite a challenge for Oren, Samurai and Seb. And right now is a bit of a crucial moment, because if they have picked the harder allocation, do they decide to pit again, put the hards on, and lose track position. I think they would only drop to about 10th because there's a big gap between Cow to Ridian. We'll see what they do. Oren's going through, so is Samurai, and so is Seb. They're going to try and see how good they are at tyre management. I know Seb's pretty good at it. Samurai has not in the past been the best at it. And Oren, we'll see. I wouldn't label any of them really tyre whisperer. Who would I label the best tyre whisperer here? Yonder's pretty good. Ridian is pretty good at managing his tyres. Who would I say is the worst? So, we've lost from this race Josh Hewitt and Chaz F1. So that's 7 out of 7 retirements this season for Josh. New record. That's 5 retirements in a row for Chaz. Close to the new record now, I guess. Apparently Will's saying he can get his pen removed when I'm pretty sure I saw him just go deep into turn 1 on the opening lap and just go too deep and cut the chicane. I'm pretty sure he didn't touch Garouche or Garouche didn't force him there. I think what Will's trying to say is the game gave him an instant 3-second penalty instead of just maybe a warning, which I guess is fair or not. I don't know, actually. But apparently since then he's got one more warning because he's saying now he needs to avoid not getting one more. But considering he's already got one main one, we'll see. Anyway, for the 3 medium runners in the top 5, another lap under the safety car will be music to their ears as we approach the halfway stage. That was close. And yeah, a bit of deja vu for Oren, actually. Like I said, in qualifying, he did win the Italian Grand Prix in Season 9 until he got a post-race penalty for his restart, where he went too slowly and there were some incidents at the back caused by him slowing the pack down. So hopefully he'll remember that and not go too slowly this time. And we'll get a move on. I'm assuming the safety car will be in this lap. So, halfway done with the race. It's been quite entertaining so far. And now we need to see if Oren, Samurai and Seb can get their mediums to the end. As of now, considering they pitted lap 10 to 11, their tyres will have no wear, obviously, maybe 1 or 2%. Going 14 laps, I'd say is doable. Because like I said earlier in the race, you pit at the earliest of lap 10, you can extend to the latest of lap 14. So 14 laps, their tyres will be in quite a state by the end, but it's possible. But right now, Garouche is in the best place. Yannick's not in a too bad of a place, but considering his tyres are a bit more worn, I'm not too sure. Will's not in a bad place, I guess. But again, like I said, his tyres are also pretty worn. So this podium could be Garouche, Yonder and Toby. If we're looking at it from a tyres perspective. Don't know why Cow has not pitted, but maybe it's to do with the tyre allocation at this rate. But 8 lap old hards, those are not going to the end. Anyway, safety car will peel off. Everyone in an Aston Martin sandwich. And Oren will keep the pace. He's going at 130 mile an hour though. So he'll have to slow down a little heading into the Parabolica. But he has to make sure not to speed up and slow down too much. Samurai will be gearing up to try and get him. Oren needs to wait at least until the safety car's in before we get going. But he's learnt his lesson because he's doing the complete opposite. And looks like he'll go now at a pretty high speed. Didn't even back them up too much. So we begin on lap 14 with the restart. And it looks like Samurai has caught Oren nearly by surprise because he's wheel to wheel with the Aston Martin. And is he going to go round the outside? He's on the grass. He goes round the outside. Can he keep on track? Oren round the outside. So many swaps. What has happened with the rest of the field? Oren stays in front of Samurai. Yannick's now in front of Garouche. Cow cut the corner there. Toby's ahead of Seb. Matt's up to 7th. There's been a bit of an incident, I think, because Will's at the back. And Adam's up to 10th. What on earth has happened behind? So Oren stays in front of Samurai. Yannick's up to 3rd ahead of Garouche then. Toby, then Seb. Where's Matt come from? In P7. Yonder out of all that, I think he stayed where he was. Ridian 9th. Adam in the points. Cookster, Deadgun, and yeah, Cow went straight across the first chicane And yes, something having a will. Now we see Samurai overtake Oren. Now he's ahead, but is Oren going to break later into Ascari chicane? Samurai round the outside takes the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. That was beautiful from the Williams, but Oren's fighting back at him. This is a proper fight between Aston and Williams, but at the moment Oren stays behind for now on Samurai. Very close stuff. Oh, nose to tail from all of them, and it looks like it was too much for Adam, who's lost the car. So we start lap 15 then. These two need to take their mediums to the end. At the moment, they're fighting like it's the last lap. They're not caring about their tyre wear. And now it's inverted. Oren this time tries to go around the outside of Samurai and looks like he's going to get it. Samurai trying to switch back so close to being hit by Yannick there. And now Grusha's got to get on with it and try and overtake Yannick. Samurai in the slipstream. Oren not blasting. So Oren will stay in front for now. What a battle between these two. Nose to tail between all of the top 10. As a bit further back, Deadgun now leads his own train ahead of Adam and Cow and Will. So those two will have their fun. The top 10. Who knows what's going to happen now. So yeah, out of all that, the three medium runners we were focusing on trying to go to the end are still where they are. First, second and fifth, as now Deadgun is off to the back of what was his train. And now Will's trying to get past Cow. Bangs tyres with him. That was a bit weird. Anyway, we have to look further to the front. What's the battery like? Actually quite high for all of them, really. Well, at least all above, well, just about 30%. So, DRS now given for second onwards. And Samurai with 70%. Looks like he's going to try and get back in front as Yonder is now in front of Matt. Before we even start the lap with him. So, Oren is under pressure from Samurai, who flies by. What about Yannick? He's not close enough for a move. Oren breaks late on the inside of Samurai. He gives him the room, and Samurai is slightly compromised on the exit there. Oren, well done on the brakes, manages to take back the lead ahead of the Williams. And Yannick putting Samurai under pressure, and now he goes to the left. Is he going to get the move to the inside on the Williams? Samurai goes later on the brakes and stays in front for now. Just about blocking the exit, but Yannick's got a pretty good exit on the second chicane to the inside. Samurai's going to have to hang this round the outside on those mediums, and he does so. That gives Oren a little bit of breathing room. He's now maybe even going to try and get outside of a second, but Samurai with the DRS will close back to him. As Oren doesn't have that much battery. Yeah, Samurai was blasting his battery into the second chicane to stay in front, but it did compromise him slightly. This is nipping. This is very close. Nip and tuck between the top two. If who's going to get the DRS, Will gets another time pen. So it looks like that can't get removed. And it looks like Samurai will get DRS. We're about to head to the detection point on the exit of Parabolica. Oh, it's close. It's a second dead on. And there's the detection. It looks like Samurai's got it. So Yannick still in front of Grush, still in front of Seb, then Toby, Yonder, Ridian, Cookster are now in front of Matt as well. And yeah, I don't think there's going to be any swaps into turn one. Still nose to tail. Yeah, Will's cleared Adam. And Cal's still stuck behind him. This is intense, but yeah, I mean, what we got going on lap 14. So when we get to around lap 19 or 20, Samurai and Oren are going to be under big pressure. And what about Yannick? Can Yannick make do with that 2-lap extra wear? Because he is technically fighting Grush now. Toby and Yonder also on the same as Grush. As much as Grush doesn't have to worry too much, he still has to make sure he gets a move on when he needs to. Just catch them napping. I think at the moment it's all about consistency, making sure you don't get warnings, but mainly it's about battery. And at the moment Oren's got a quarter battery left, same as Samurai. Yannick's got slightly more. Grush has got pretty much the same. Same with Seb. Toby's got plenty. And so with Yonder. Watch out for these two, because they are certainly going to make their way up the order. And starting with Toby, it looks like he may get Seb already. Seb's blasting, but so is Toby. And to the inside, Yannick's close to Samurai. Samurai goes defensive and won't get the move. And Toby to the inside. Looks like he's got the move on Seb. Good move from the Haskar, who's up into the top 5. So yeah, Toby started 6th, went up to 2nd by the end of the first lap, then was leading, then dropped down, then pitted again because of the safety car. It looks like nothing's getting in his way at the moment, as now Yonder follows Toby and gets in front of Seb as well. So yeah, like I said, watch out. Next up, Grush. So, Grush, Toby and Yonder all on the same strategy of tyre in terms of life. So this is full position. Yeah, it's a weird one, because you know the leaders aren't really going to pull away now. This was their opportunity, these laps, for Oren and Samurai to pull away, but they decided to battle a lot, which has just left a big 8-car train for the win. Who knows who's going to come out of this, if there's going to be an instant or whatnot. They've kept it relatively pretty clean so far with some great action. Yannick's been putting Samurai under pressure more and more. I did say when we get to lap 19 or 20, they could start to feel the pressure. Well, here we go. Samurai's actually got more battery than Yannick, but at the moment he's letting him go. Oren, it looks like he's going to block Yannick, and Yannick has nowhere to go. And Yannick actually runs to the back of Oren slightly there, as Oren and Samurai are still wheel to wheel, and Oren will stay ahead for now on the Williams. Yannick was completely sandwiched there, and he had no idea where else to go but into the rear of Oren, and eventually had to back out, otherwise he was sending Oren into the wall. So they stay in their order for now, or do they? Because Ridian is ahead of Seb, and we have yellows at the back as, whoa, switch back to the inside. Seb on Ridian, leaves in the space. Ridian goes across the corner. Will speeds into the pit lane. Matt gets the time penalty. Will retires in the pits. And, yeah, Ridian and Matt, great. Ridian and Seb, great respect in terms of space, but I think they judged it a little late because both had issues. I think Ridian may have got a pen for track limits there, slightly. And, yeah, Seb went onto the gravel when I don't think he needed to. Right, we resume. And, yeah, Samurai, that was pretty brave not to blast his battery on the start-finish. Somehow he's come out still ahead, and he nearly took the lead from it. Oren, I'm sure he's not, even though he's winning the race, leading the race, he's probably not liking where he's at right now with his battery compared to those behind. But it could be worse. He could be on 10. So Samurai blasts again in a bid to stay in front of Yannick. And Samurai will pull to the left. As long as Oren and Samurai keep staying wheel to wheel, I don't know if Yannick can get past. This time round, Samurai's on the inside, but once again, Oren leaves some space. But now Samurai's got a great exit, and they're wheel to wheel for the lead of the Grand Prix on lap 20. But Oren blasts all his battery to stay in front. And now we see very close between Grush and Yannick, I believe. Oh no, it was Toby and Yonder, I think. Within a tenth of one another. Toby nearly into the back of Grush there. And this is brilliant. Nose to tail for the top 7 now. One by one, they're getting picked off. As, yeah, that was Matt. Who, well, Matt and Cookster have left this train now. So what was about 10 cars, then became 8, then became 9, then 8. Now 7. So close. As there's Yannick trying to get past Samurai, and he's done it. He's caught him where he needed to, because now we can head on to the start-finish, and now Yannick can try and get Oren. But Samurai with 100% battery knows what's coming. And they're so close to one another. So Yannick with 25. Oren's actually saved a bit more this time round. Samurai with 100% knows he probably won't get overtaken on this straight now. Toby was right near Grush there. And who do we watch? Who's going to overtake the other? Samurai still saving battery for some reason, even though he's got plenty to use. Yannick's close to Oren. Samurai brakes so late that he tags Yannick. And will Toby manage to capitalize on that? Not quite. Samurai may have just gotten away with that. However, that was still an incident. And Yannick will not be too happy with that. Toby all over the back of Samurai. He's gotten ahead of Grush. And so is Yonder. But Grush breaks late round the outside of the RB. But Yonder looks like he's got the move ahead of Grush, who's lost 2 places. And now Toby's looking good to win this race. To the inside. Ridian on Grush as well. What's happening to the McLaren, who's just falling further down the order? And Cookster's going to join and make it an 8-way fight again, as Oren is now 1.4 ahead of Yannick, who's lost all his battery. Wow. They're surviving, mainly Oren, on those mediums. But Toby, making his way up through the field, will now try and get Samurai. Yannick's under big pressure here with the battery difference. He has to just make sure he has a good exit out of Parabolica. Oren is pulling away at the moment. Don't know what happened to Yannick. He was right there. He must have been a bit confused maybe why Samurai braked so late. You can see him flashing. I don't know if Samurai will really want to overtake Yannick, considering what he did last lap. So he stays behind for now. Toby late on the brakes. Can't go around the outside. They stay how they are. And Yannick Cookster has rejoined the party. Oh, as now he's in front of Grush. Little bit of lag there. I don't know if that's what's causing Grush's race to fall apart. But yeah, unfortunately, he's fallen down from a potential win to 8th. To the inside, Samurai trying to find a way past Yannick. Yannick, who has one podium to his name, Baku last season, after joining the league in Spain. Next week will be his 1 season anniversary. And yeah, he could have got a second podium a couple weeks ago in Japan, I think. He was 3rd, but then Ridian got his time penalty removed. It was Japan, yeah. Ridian got his pen removed. That put Yannick back down to 4th at the moment. He's in P2 right now. So this is certainly one of his best races. But it's so weird. He's on the hards. By now, these mediums should be feeling their wear. As the likes of Samurai and, I think, did Seb pit? I don't know. He did. So right now, it's Samurai and Oren who are trying to get their mediums to the end. But right now, Oren looks like he saved some tyre life when fighting with Samurai because they weren't going that quick. Now he's decided to use it. So Samurai has blasted all his battery, and Toby's blasted a bit more. But he's braking late to go around the outside of the Williams. Toby versus Samurai. Toby's ahead. What a move from Toby. Using his tyre life advantage compared to the dying medium Samurai probably has. That was beautifully executed. And now Yonder, once again, is whenever Toby makes a move, he makes a move. But this time, Yonder's making it 3 wide to the inside. Yonder fighting away with Toby. Wheel to wheel into the chicane. And they leave enough room to still go side by side. The 2 white cars into Lesmo 1. Toby's back in front of Yonder. And Iridian as well has got past Samurai 2. So Iridian's back up to where he was on the end of the first lap when he started 10th. And he's halved the field, and now Yonder back in front of Toby. Yonder's on the podium again. And he sees his teammate Yannick in P2. Oh, as Yannick now gets a penalty. And your Oren, he's making this work somehow. But Yonder, watch out for him and Toby still. Oh, wow. Oh, Yannick's going to fall so far down the order if he gets caught. So now Yonder and Toby have to do, maybe they have to work together a little bit. As, Samurai's coming into the pit lane, the championship leader. It has not worked out for him. His closest rival, Oren's currently winning the race as Toby gets past Yonder. And what about Ridian? Stays behind for now. And Cookster, after, losing the train, it's not easy to get back in the train. But, he's done well. And Adam's up in 8th! Adam, after getting P9 last week, his first points in EXFL Tier 2, he's in 8th at the moment. Yes, he has a pen. Yes, Seb will probably close on him. Samurai at the moment should be able to hold on to the final points paying position as he's in front of Matt, Cal and Deadgun, who look like they're the 3 who are not going to get any points. But at the moment, Oren, with 4 to go, is 4 seconds clear. How is he keeping the pace in those mediums? Just about. He's lost it on the exit of Lesmo 2 and he's nearly binned it into the wall. And he hasn't even actually lost that much time from Yannick. What on earth is happening in Monza? Like I said, 13 laps. That's really how long mediums are going to go. And now Ridian gets a time penalty. So, Toby and Yonder look like they're in for another podium. And Cookster as well. You never know with him. They're not catching Yannick, which is kind of weird, considering Toby and Yonder have the freshest tyres of the lot. Actually, if that's right, then you stick within 3 seconds. Yannick's definitely gaining on Oren, though. But we only have 3 laps to go. We're running out of laps. Cal now gets a penalty. Yonder to the inside, fighting with Toby. The more they fight, the less they're going to gain. And Ridian just parking his car where he needs to. Wow. Oren, I can't believe what I'm watching with Oren. I really thought his mediums were going to die. I mean, it's still not over yet, but he's got a great gap. He equaled the all-time win record of 11 wins a couple of races ago after winning back-to-back races. Today would be a 12th win in EXFL Tier 2 in Season 12. No driver has ever done that before. And at the track where he thought I forget if it was beat or equaled the all-time record 3 seasons ago, to have it taken away post-race due to his own fault. Redemption is certainly the word he's going to call this race. But we're not done yet. 2 laps to go before Oren makes a little bit of history for himself. Yannick still trying to win this on track. I don't know if his penalty's legit. But he's certainly catching Oren bit by bit. And at this rate, he will get him on the last lap. So we'll see. Yannick is going to be 4th at the moment after the penalties. Yonder's not close enough to Toby. That was so good from Yonder, though. Getting his elbows out. Making it 3 wide on the Haas. And yeah, Grush just hasn't capitalised enough, unfortunately. Samurai, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. I think he got fastest lap last week as well. Well, Oren's certainly going to take the lead in the championship. He trailed Samurai by 3 points heading into today. At the moment, he is gaining 23, because Samurai will take P9 from Adam. But he's going to get another points finish as Adam. P9 and P10, that's great. But Yannick's all over the back of Oren. In fact, he's overtaking Oren. So, yeah. I really want to check the race direct to see if Yannick has... well, he got the 3 second quite late in the race, so who knows. I'll obviously talk to Yannick and whatnot, if he's even on the podium. But yeah, the top 7 once again closing ever more to one another. They were pretty spaced out. Now they're getting quite close again. We start the final lap of the Italian Grand Prix. And Yannick becomes, what, maybe the 7th different leader of this race. Oren closes up, though, to the RB. Wants to retake the lead and win this on track. And Oren's in front of the RB. What about Yonder and Toby? They're not close enough for now. Cookster and Grush still could benefit from Ridian and Yannick's pens here. So at the moment, Oren's going to win. Toby's going to be second. A first and a second across 2 races would be great. Yonder will be third at the moment. A second and a third across 2 races. But he could maybe still get Toby. The batteries are going pretty low now at this stage of the race. Yannick will drop to just in front of Cookster, but yeah, Ridian will lose 2 places. I want to interview more than the top 3 today. I want to interview all the top 7. But looks like there's no more overtakes at the moment. Heading into Ascari for the final time. Oren, as long as he's bided his time with track limit warnings, is all home and dry. He's got 1 corner left. And he's had to survive a lot of cars behind him attacking him. And it's still not over. But Oren, a few seasons ago, tried to make history. Got denied post-race. But 3 seasons later in Season 12, he's going to be the first driver to ever get 12 victories in EXFL Tier 2. Oren wins the Italian Grand Prix. Toby is P2 after all the trials he faced this race. And Yonder, once again, from the back to the podium. A brilliant race. Yannick, unfortunately, another P4 when it could have been a P2 with the time penalty. Don't know if it's legit. Probably is. Cookster with a top 5 finish. Bravo to him. Like it was in the opening race of the season as well. Grush, unfortunately, P6 just didn't work out for him with the positions and his pace. Ridian 7th. Seb 8th. Samurai 9th. Adam, back-to-back points finishers. Great stuff for him. He's on a roll. Cal P11, Matt P12, and Deadgun will be P13. Oren has done it once again. Fantastic stuff. I don't know how he did that. He was the only one of the 3, him, Seb, and Samurai, to go the whole rest of the race on those mediums. Seb couldn't hack it. Samurai couldn't hack it. Oren hacked it. Just about. This corner nearly lost him the win so many times. Yeah. Good stuff. And still an Aston Martin sandwich, like it was at the restart. Apparently Ridian says he can get his pen removed, but Yannick says he hates himself for that penalty. That's really unfortunate. So Oren, there's no other driver in Tier 2 history. We've had nearly 200 drivers race across 12 seasons, and he is the only one to win 12 times. For now. I mean, obviously again, post-race, who knows? Can't remember everything in that race, but for now, take nothing away from him. He's won the Italian Grand Prix. And yeah. Anyone could have won that if they just had a better quali or better positioning. Because, I mean, look at the race pace. It was pretty close. The race director won't be that long, will it? Okay, maybe it will. Yeah, I mean, it would have been interesting with Oren and Samurai if we didn't have that safety car with Grush and whatnot. Seeing which one would have played out more. But that's racing sometimes. It is what it is. We got a different kind of race. It was still very exciting. Let's get the top 3 in the party. Right, Oren. I don't know if I have to talk to him in Discord. Quickly message him. But yeah, Toby and Yonder. There we go, we have Toby join the party. Still waiting for Yonder. He'll probably join in a minute. Right, while we wait for those two. Oh, there we go, Yonder's joined. Nice. Right, as for Oren, I'll probably talk to him in Discord. Right, Toby, are you there, mate? Have you included your audio?
Yep.
Great. Yonder, are you there, mate?
Yep.
Have you included your audio?
Yes.
Perfect. Right. We'll start off with you, Toby. That was quite an up and down race. Well, actually, the pair of you, you almost acted like teammates today. As soon as Toby did something, Yonder did it, and whatnot. But we'll get to that. Right, Toby, P2 at the Italian Grand Prix. This double header at Italy has proved very nice for your championship. P1 and P2, fantastic results. So it was a P6 quali start after your qualifying.
Yeah.
How was quali in your POV? Because it was quite close between all the cars. So were you happy? Were you a bit disappointed? How was it?
From my POV, it looked like I was quite slow at first, being down in 6th, but then I realised how close everyone was, so I thought it's not too bad. I can still kind of come back and get more positions from it.
Yeah, exactly. And what an opening lap you had. It was the complete opposite to your teammate. Started 2nd, dropped down to about 8th. You started 6th, got up to 2nd in the end by the first lap. So yeah, just take us through your opening lap. We're picking off the cars.
From the start off lights, I finally got a good start. I think that's the first one of the season. I managed to get 2 positions going down into the first turn because I think one of them fumbled it and I was just able to box him in behind the other car and brake later. And then I kind of just waited for other opportunities, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah, you saw your teammate in the final corner. What happened to him, if you were able to see it?
I kind of shit myself because he came out of nowhere. I didn't really see anything. All I saw was him coming off the road and then rejoining. I tried my best to avoid him. But yeah, I did shit myself after seeing that.
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly invite Oren real quick. Do I have him? Where is he? Or is he online? Ah, there he is. He's online. Right. Invite. There we go. So yeah, you were. I remember in the second chicane on the opening lap, I saw you were fourth, and I think I literally said in commentary, I was like, "Oh, Toby's made a good start for once." And then yeah, by the end of lap one, you were second, and then you took the lead away from Grush. And that must have been a pretty good feeling after only a couple laps, going from sixth to first.
Yeah, it definitely was a good feeling. It was going good towards my strategy, and then obviously the safety car came out to ruin that.
Oren, are you there, mate? Hello. I don't know if you can include your audio on your phone. Hello, I can hear you. All right. I think your fan's going, so if you just mute your mic out, and then I'll come to you. All right. All right. Cool. All right. So yeah, Toby, were you opting for the two stop then, because you pitted quite early?
Yeah, I was opting for the two stop, but the safety car kind of ruined that strategy. So obviously, well, I still did the two stop in the end because I didn't think my tyres were going to make it. So yeah, I just chose to pit, and it worked out well.
Yeah, so you pitted again. You were in seventh, and Yonder was right behind you on the same strat in eighth, except he stayed out for the one stop. And then, like I said a few minutes ago, you and him, as soon as you made a move, he made a move, and you just kept going one by one, both of you up through the field. I literally said, "Watch out for these two." And there was a hairy moment where you were side by side with him, and I think it was Samurai 3 wide into the second chicane, and there was great trust and commitment between the pair of you to go side by side there. It was brilliant. Were you enjoying it at the time, or was it a bit more stressful?
I was enjoying it, to be honest. It was pretty good.
Great.
I had a smile on my face going down into that chicane, 3 wide.
Awesome. So yeah, you were fighting away with Yonder in the last few laps. You were closing the gap that was made by Yannick and Oren. Because at the restart, there was like 10 of you within a DRS train. The middle, a few spaced out, and then by the end, you were back all within a second of one another nearly. So yeah, then you saw Yannick get the time penalty. In the last few laps, were you thinking, I'm going to get P2 here? Or maybe you were thinking, was there any chance I could still win this? Or I'm still trying to defend from Yonder? What was going through your mind?
The moment he got it, I was like, well, I got P2 here, I can confirm it, but then also their teammates. So if Yonder had overtaken me, he could have given his teammate P2. So I was a bit stressed of Yonder being behind me and also just following me through the field. So I had to try and kind of keep ahead of him. But then I saw Yannick overtake Oren, and I was like, maybe P1, but no, I was mainly hoping for the P2.
Yeah. So as I'm just going to quickly pull up the standings, that certainly helped your chances. So yes, you were third heading into today. I completely forgot you were that high, but yeah. So Oren winning today, he was 3 points ahead of you. He'll now increase that to 10. So Oren takes the lead in the championship. You have gone from, I don't know where you were really at the start, maybe 8th or whatnot, but you've been slowly climbing up the order. Third last week, you are now second in the championship after today on 85 points to Oren's 95. So yeah, very interesting between the pair of you. Is this the start of who could emerge out by the end? Oren versus Toby. We'll see with other drivers, but at the moment, you two definitely seem like two of the quickest to beat, both in quali and the race. But yeah, for now, well done. Your season's going great now. So yeah, final question. How are you feeling about Spain next week?
Spain, once again, not my favourite track, a bit like Monza. I've never really liked it, but it's just not, kind of the same as Monza. I don't really like it.
Well, you got P2 in Monza, and if you didn't like Monza and you don't like, but you'll probably do well next week as well. We'll see, because Spain is actually a pretty fun one, for at least from a neutral's watching perspective. But driving it, I can understand why those might not like it. But we'll see. But for now, well done, and we'll move on to P3.
Thanks so much.
Yonder.
Yep.
In the RB once again, your 7th Tier 2 podium, one off the record for most without a win. But I'm sure that win is coming, because once again, you have started from the back, and you've dragged your way onto the podium brilliantly. I think there was a moment in the race I literally just went, how does he do it? So yeah, congratulations. How was quali in the race? Well, I think we don't need to dwell on quali too much, but how was the race from your perspective? If anything, take us through the early stages. You had trouble with connections or whatnot.
Yeah, so then as soon as everyone pulled up to the grid, get the the massive red crosses coming up everywhere, thinking, please don't be me. That gets kicked out or whatnot. Yeah, got kicked out straight away. I don't think I rejoined until like end of lap 4. So I tried all the tricks, restart my game, tried to connect back, didn't work, and then go online, offline. Try and go through all the manual stuff I've done in the past to try and get it going. And then yeah, once I got back on, it was carving through the back markers one by one. But once I got past, it was Leon, or maybe it was someone further. I think I was like 9th or 10th at that point, and it was like 7 seconds off the next gaggle of cars. And it wasn't really looking like, unless one of them dropped off pace massively. Like I was thinking of doing a one stop at that point, and that might be the only way that I would score anything major in that race. But yeah, that safety car definitely did help.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, you made some great moves following Toby. Remind me of 2012 Valencia with Webber and Schumacher a little. And both of them ended up on the podium. So yeah, great reflective on that. So yeah, that brings you to 55 points. And I definitely need to promote you into, I don't know, a Ferrari seat or whatnot, or whatever's available. You've done your justice for RB, and if anything, it's got them pretty far ahead of the rest in the constructors. I know Aston with Oren and whatnot is still looking pretty good, but yeah, for now, it's been another brilliant race for you, and I'm sure that first win is coming. If you, again, we said this last week, if you did bother to do quali, it might end up still being the exact same thing. So I guess keep doing what you're doing. It's always a fun highlight of the race. And yeah, very well done. How are you feeling about Spain next week?
I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to do Spain. This is where the whole reserve thing comes
Yeah,
into
yeah.
play. But if I am able to, it's an all right track except when it's very wet. And then
Mm.
you get all the people turn traction control on and just be a bit annoying
Yeah,
like
we
that.
haven't. I don't
But
think we've had much rain at Spain in the past.
yeah, well, I'm gonna curse it and jinx it and say yeah, there will
Hmm.
be there will be heavy rain at
Actually,
Spain.
have we even had rain all season? I don't actually
I
think
don't
we
think
have.
so.
Oh well, maybe. Yonder's the predicting weatherman here. Anyway, for now, congratulations on P3. And yeah, very well done. On to next week for you.
Thank you.
And going back to the race winner, Oren, Aston Martin driver. Just confirm you are there, mate. Oren, you have made history. A bit of redemption from season 9. I don't know if you do remember, the whole. I think did you equal the win record or beat the win record when you quote? I think it was equaled, yeah. And obviously post race pen for the restart. Yeah, clearly on your restart today you got reminded because that was probably the quickest speed I've ever seen on a restart. I don't think you went below 100 mile an hour. But yeah. Mm. So what happened in qualifying then? You only decided to do the one lap. Ah, okay. That kind of explains it with the whole slipstream. That is understandable, and it still managed to get you on the second row of the grid. So fair enough. It was a great lap. Yeah. Sometimes you either just haven't practiced or you can't, and somehow you do really well. It is what it is. But yeah, the start you were biding your time, unlike last week where the tyres were at least a bit better. Then you closed up, took the lead, and then when the safety car came out, initially, were you a bit annoyed? Because obviously you're on the hards and you have to go mediums a long way. Mm. Well, it was weird because you, Samurai, and Seb were the three who had to make the mediums last 14 laps. And like I said, Seb couldn't do it, Samurai couldn't do it, and you managed it. Because I really thought when you fought with Samurai at the start, oh, yeah, this is their moment to pull away, but you didn't. And then it was so weird. Lap 20 or whatnot, when I said they should die now, you just pulled away. As much as everyone behind fought a little. It was fantastic. Mm, mm. Blitz it. You sure you were saving? Because the exit of Lesmo 2 a few times looked a bit interesting. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I was just talking. So yeah, you have made history then. You are the first driver to ever win 12 times in EXFL Tier 2 and in Season 12 as well. That's quite fitting. So yeah, you retake the lead of the championship, 10 points ahead of Toby, 3 wins in the first 7 races. Um, as much as I wouldn't say you've been the most consistent driver, you've definitely been, well, on your day, you are definitely a formidable foe. So well done and congratulations. Yeah, another brilliant win. Um, so yeah, 7 races in, 95 points. Yeah, should be into the triple digits by next week. So yeah, I guess final question: how are you feeling for Spain next week? Yeah, yeah, we'll see. I literally said in qualifying it's going to be a different story every week. If a track really suits a driver, they'll probably do well. But if next week the track doesn't suit them as much, they could be down in 10th. That was kind of the story of quali. So yeah, who Grush to pole. So yeah, 2 poles for him and Frankie this season, and yeah, you are still the only driver to win more than once this season. So yeah, fitting that you're leading. But that is kind of crazy. That have you entered every race this season? So 7 races, you've won 3 of them, and in the other 4, you've scored 20 points. When a win is 25. A few sixths here and there, and maybe like a P8. Yeah, Bahrain was not great and whatnot, but yeah, overall you're still doing the best job. So yeah, this is looking a bit more and more as we're only pretty much a third of the way done, so still plenty of season left. But yeah, maybe by the end you'll make a bit more of history, and wouldn't that be something special? But you have got quite a few behind you who are eyeing you up. Obviously Finn. I mean, he's on like 60 something. He's like 30 behind now, but obviously he was the one to be at the start. So literally, yeah, yeah. You might take a page out of your book in season 9 and do a little comeback mid-season. See what happens. But yeah, that has been it for Italy in EXFL Tier 2 for Season 12. Oren has won the Italian Grand Prix ahead of Toby and Yonder on the podium. Fantastic race from them 3. And yeah, we will see you next week for Spain.